Yes, you should rehearse. Yes, you should rehearse. From a presentation coach's perspective, the following sentence is the dumbest sentence in the English language. I don't want to rehearse because I don't want to seem canned. I want to seem spontaneous and fresh, so I'd better wing it. Ah! Now, it's true that if you try to memorize your speech or deliver your presentation the exact same way every time, you'll set yourself up for failure. Now, the exceptions are for anyone out there who's a trained Broadway actor. But rehearsing your speech should never be about memorizing words or movements. If you don't rehearse, you're throwing your rough draft of your presentation at your audience. Well, rough drafts are rough. That's why they call it rough. Here's a question I ask every one of my clients. How often would you dictate a letter to an assistant and then instruct your assistant to send it to all of your clients, your boss, and the media without editing it, without spell checking it, without putting it on a nice letterhead or getting another set of eyes to review it? Now, clients usually chuckle and say, never, I can't imagine doing that. But guess what? That's exactly what you're doing if you ever give a presentation without having rehearsed it. Most people are nervous before they give a presentation, yet they're calm when they send out a letter to clients and prospects. What's the difference? With a letter, you have the opportunity to work through several drafts and get to a point of confidence that it is the best it can be and is devoid of major errors before you send out the letter. That's why you aren't nervous about sending out letters. The real reason that you and most people fear public speaking is that you fear the unknown. Makes sense. You don't know if your content is interesting. You don't know if you look or sound stupid. And you don't know what the audience thinks about you or what you're saying. When you think about it, this makes perfect sense. Let's take another example from our everyday lives. If someone forced you to get dressed in the morning in the dark and didn't let you look in the mirror once before leaving your home, would you be nervous about your appearance? Of course you would. You'd be worried that you miss shaving half your face or your lipstick is crooked. I'm sure that you look in the mirror many times before leaving your house or apartment in the morning. But it's not as if you have to look at your own face all day long. No, you look in mirrors because you want to get an accurate sense of how does the rest of the world see you. We all have an editing system for putting on our public face and our clothes. The result, when you show up at the office or in front of clients, you probably aren't worried about your face or your hair or your clothing. You might not think you're perfect. I hope you don't. I know I'm not perfect. But at least you're confident that you have your best face forward. The same principle that applies to writing a letter or getting ready to leave your house in the morning can also apply to presenting. There is no good reason not to go through drafts of your presentation until you really like it and feel totally comfortable with it. And I'm not talking about rewriting the words of your speech or reading it over and over again to yourself. No. A presentation is not the words you've created on paper or a computer screen. A presentation is you actually speaking. So, how do you rehearse? The secret. You must record your entire presentation on video and then watch it. You absolutely must do this. It is the only way to find out if your presentation is any good. You have to watch yourself giving your speech. You can't just stare at words written on paper. The presentation is you actually speaking. So you have to edit the rough draft of you actually speaking over and over again. And clients ask me, TJ, do I really have to watch myself? I hate watching myself on video. Sorry, but you do. The same way you have to read a letter before you send it, or look at yourself in the mirror before you leave for work in the morning. Is it painful to watch yourself? Yes, but this is less painful than wasting the time of people you're speaking to because you were too boring or hard to follow. So grab a video camera, a cell phone with video capture, a webcam, or any video device and record your speech. Then watch it. Now this brings up a point that never ceases to amuse me. Countless how-to books on speaking and presenting use phrases like, if a video camera is available, try to record your speech. if a video camera is available? What year are we in, 1910? You don't see books on resume writing say things like, well, if a computer is available and if you can find a spell check program, you may wish to spell check your resume before sending out. Now, it's equally absurd in this day and age not to use a video recorder as you rehearse your presentation. For starters, your cell phone probably captures video, and your computer likely has a webcam that will capture your rehearsal, not to mention any digital still camera. Personally, I never go anywhere without a flip digital video recorder. It's no larger than a cell phone, has one button, and costs less than dinner for one in Manhattan. And it plays back instantly. I beg you, don't try talking to a mirror. It's a complete waste of time. It will take you half an hour to get past the first line, and instead of focusing on delivering ideas to an audience, you'll focus on your big nose or some part of your face you don't like. Plus, there will be nothing to analyze once you're done. The video creates something tangible that allows you to critique your strengths and your weaknesses. That's important when learning most new skills. Imagine if back when you were in elementary school, you tried to learn how to write essays by dictating one to your English teacher and never reading the transcript. Now, imagine that when she graded your essay, your teacher didn't show you your words. Instead, she just told you that you did well or you did poorly. Do you think you would ever have become a competent writer that way? Of course not. You have to see video of yourself speaking if you want to improve. And there is absolutely no excuse not to do so. I'll warn you, if you've never seen a video of yourself speaking, you're not going to like what you see. You're not going to enjoy watching it. Tough. Your audience has to watch you. Shouldn't you know what they're hearing and what they're seeing? If you're like most people, here's the response you'll have after watching yourself. Ugh, I hate my speech. I'm so deadly dull. It's not funny. I never imagined I would sound so boring and so monotone. I would fall asleep if I had to watch this speech. Well, at least you know now how your audience will feel. The good news is that you still have time to fix this disaster of a speech. When I ask clients what they want to do to improve their presentations, their first response is usually throw the whole thing into the trash can. And sometimes that may in fact be the best thing to do. Practice alone is not enough, especially if you're practicing a long, boring, abstract presentation. I can't tell you what to say, but I can tell you that if you hate your speech, there's an excellent chance your audience will hate it too. So come up with a new one. The key is to get rid of the bad, boring, abstract content from your speech and replace it with interesting examples, case studies, and success stories. We'll go into more of that later. But here's the rub. The best way to get rid of stuff you don't like is to focus on the parts of your presentation that you do like, so you can do more of it. Now, for the second part of the question, how long should you rehearse? You can't just try this once and move on. You have to rehearse, record, and review your presentation. Again, are you happy yet? If not, keep revising, rehearsing, recording, and reviewing until you're happy. Is this tedious? Sure, but you already do this with printed documents going out of your office. Why is your presentation less important than a printed document? Keep refining your speech and keep watching it until you reach a magical moment. That moment when you can watch your speech and actually love what you see. When you can watch the video and say, wow, she's a great presenter. If I can do half as well in real life, I'll be the best presenter there. This might take you 5 hours or it might take you 5 days. Either way, your audience doesn't care. They just want your best. Here's the payoff. When you're watching a video of yourself and you can clearly see that you look comfortable and confident and that you're expressing your ideas in an interesting and memorable way, a funny thing happens. You become a better presenter. That first feeling of confidence goes a long way. So please, 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 I beg of you, record your presentation rehearsal and keep rehearsing until you love what you see. If you disregard everything else here and just follow one piece of advice, This is what will give you the greatest value. You will have unlocked the biggest secret to giving foolproof presentations, because you'll actually get a chance to see yourself the way your audience sees you.